Tazria. One quick idea on Parshas Metzora that it talks about the pasuk in Yud Dal Chaf Aleph V'im Dal Hu, that a person, if they got leprosy, saras, the classic reason is for speaking lashon hara, so they have to bring a basically there's a whole process to getting pure. Someone who has more money, his korban sacrifices will be more expensive. If it's poor, it will be less expensive. It will be less. So it's very interesting because they translated this Aleinu L'Shabeach in English. For some reason, they didn't translate this piece. I don't know why. I have both the English and the Hebrew set. But anyways, there's financially poor, and then there is mentally poor, right? Which means that poverty doesn't just apply to wealth. Right? Da kani machaser, da lo kani makani the song. So if a person has knowledge, he has everything. Da lo kani makani, right? But if he didn't acquire knowledge, what did he acquire? So knowledge, if a person doesn't have it, it's considered a form of poverty over here. So he basically says that there was a story that someone went to the Tishbiner Rebbe, or in Tishbin, and it was a very small minyan over there. There were a few amount of people. And there was one bacher over there who would always daven. But he wasn't the brightest person with his intellectual capabilities. So one time, they were getting a test in the yeshiva, in this child's class. They were getting tested in Chumash Rashi on Parshas Vayechi. And so he was getting tested as well. So the Tishbina Rebbe, he was worried that he's not going to know the answer and it's going to cause him, discomfort and embarrassment. So he asked him a simple question from the first pasuk. How many years did Yaakov live? Simple question. 148, first pasuk in Vayechi. So he was very happy when he got the answer right. And then he came along and he said, a difficult question, let me ask. And then he said, how long did Yosef live for? Last pasuk in Parshas Vayechi, 110 years. After he answered, the Rebbe, he went along and he said, oh, wow, Yafeh Moed, you did great, you did this, you did that. The idea is that there's an idea of that we have to build people, not just put them down, right? Now, sometimes it is important. You got to put people in the right place. When someone comes and they're a little chutzpah, the 13-year-old kid, the chutzpah's all over the place before Mashiach comes. Some of these kids, you see what's going on, right? You gotta put them in their place. Sometimes if someone's doing something wrong, you gotta let the person know, right? The Rav, right? It always gets tricky because you don't want to scare away people. But if something's wrong, a person's got to stand up if you think that they're going to listen. But the same idea when a person is having difficulties and with the steiging, with the learning, with the mitzvahs, with the that, you got to build the person up. You got to bring him up as opposed to bring him down. V'im dalhu. If a person's poor, help the person out. Let him get on the right foot. Let him get on the right track. I think it's a very important idea in general, and to build people. A lot of times when it comes to children, if they're misbehaving, right? So to come along and say, "Oh, you're cranky. You're cranky. You went to sleep too late. You woke up too early. You didn't eat enough. Eat something." No. Instead of saying, "Oh, you're cranky. You're a mess right now. Start behaving." Just say, "You're such a great kid. You behave so nicely. You do." It's saying the same exact thing, but there's two ways of saying it, right? This applies to any relationship in life. Look, I'm not saying I'm an expert with this, but I'm just pointing something out. That's something that, I've experienced. A person could convey the same exact message that he's trying to say in two different ways. One way will be completely listened to because divrei chachamim benachas nishma'in. It's a pasuk. The words of the chachamim, they're going to be heard if it's gently. Dvarim hayotzim min halev nichnasin halev. Something that comes out of the heart will enter into the heart. But if it's said in do this, the person's got to v'im dalhu, build the person up as opposed to lowering them.
How do we learn that from the words in dalhu? What's because
No,
giving him
he's
a way to bring his car about?
Yeah,
He's just
tangenting to poverty.
not after the way from a bus.
Yeah, no, he's just picking up on something poor.
Okay.
It's not really related so much.
But okay, no,
Yeah.
nice thought.
It's
That's
nice
great
message,
thought.
Nice message. Nothing heavy. I just want to say a quick thing. I'm sorry. We already did something.
Very nice.
The
Okay.
next this month now, 3 out of 4 weeks are double parshas. I looked ahead.
Yeah, somebody told me
You
last
got
week.
Achri Mos Kedoshim, and then
Thank God they're not so big
yeah,
together. Even this week's isn't so big
Tezria
together.
Metzora,
It's 150 about. I think,
150.
which,
The nice.
all right, but it's not Matos Mase.
Yeah, okay, no, yeah, yeah. All right, so next time we will continue with the Mishnah Brew where we left off with. Everyone should have a wonderful day. All right.